not just us. There's other guys doing shows down the street, and this shit is cool, and this shit is for you, okay? Now, we have done this for 3 years. This is the first time we've ever been shut down by the cops, okay? And it's going to be the last time, obviously. I'm a little bit upset right now because we haven't asked for much. We were geared towards doing this with a sense of community, as opposed to doing it with just, you know, for the idea of making money or for getting like the cool bands. We've done bands that no one's ever heard of, and no one will ever hear of again in this part of the country, you know. But they were coming through and they needed a place, so you know, it was like, it was for the music and not for the fashion and not for the, you know, like the scene points or the status, you know. And we do this stuff because we love it. You know, it shows no fucking respect for your own fucking good to not listen when somebody's asking you to do something smart, you know. And that's it. Whatever. I'm gonna fucking shut up now. Thanks for coming, though.
I don't like playing on a stage. I hate there being some sort of like fucking rock star light show. The best shows we have are we play in someone's basement. When we're on the ground and there is no stage, because that's what we're about. That way people can't hide from you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, you're face to face, like mouth to ear, fucking screaming in somebody's face and they got no place to go.
Yeah. We played Lawrence, Kansas, and people were behind us. It was on the ground, a small little place. Kids packed, they're like knocking us over. But Nathan's singing, kids are dancing behind him. Knocking us up, me over, Dean over. It was awesome.
That's how it should be. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's how I wish every show was like that.
Thing, like band and audience, is just like
all. It's like everyone's all together, just
show, you know. It's
awesome.
And that's what hardcore is about. That's what punk rock, when it started, was all about. Is there being no walls, being no boundaries.
Tighter crowd. It's more of a family, you know. You could actually get on the stage, you could sing along, you could dive off the stage, you could do what you want. It's not a fucking 30-foot barrier in between you and the people that are on the stage, treating them like they're some kind of rock stars or some kind of gods that you can't get near.
When they're playing in a stadium, it takes away the whole purpose of just hardcore punk, whatever, because when they play in little clubs, you're there, you're close to the stage, you can grab the microphone, it's like personal, but when they're in a stadium, then it takes it all away. There's no point. It doesn't even like, there's just...
What's the purpose?
To be close to the band, to be like personal, like, you know, like you're involved.
It's a lot harder to play to a barrier and like some big security guard's back than it is to like, you know, some 16-year-old kid that's like spitting at you and having fun, you know? I don't know. It just depends.
When you play on a big stage in front of a lot of people, it feels like you're entertaining somebody. You know what I mean? Instead of like
people hanging out with you
instead of interacting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
As far as comparing the two, clubs are definitely way better. Shows at clubs, you're one of the group. You're up there singing along. They're down there on the pit there with you. It's all one. Stadiums are a bunch of bullshit.
I don't understand how someone can pay $35 to sit in the seat for the whole time and listen to some band that they should be up fucking windmilling to. Doesn't make any sense to me. If you can't fucking do a kung fu kick while you're watching your band, that doesn't make any sense. You know, I mean, general admission shows are the only way to go. I can't see seeing sick of it all at Giant Stadium. I beat the shit out of the guy next to me.
Small ones are better because it's so much more intimate.
You get to hang out with
people. It's
people.
kind of like a big. We don't take it too serious. We like joke around so much because it's a little ridiculous to us to be like, you know, we're these four guys who were just like screaming in our basement years ago, and all of a sudden you're playing in front of 20,000 people who just jump up and down to every song.
Yeah. Both sides shows, you know, small places, huge things are great.
The first week and a half of our tour, it was all like stadiums and stuff, and It's good. I think I liked it because you get like this great sound system where you could hear everything perfectly, a lot of room to run around on stage, a lot of energy with people. But then, you know, we played a little club show with like 400 kids, and we missed it, you know, just like the sweat and the people being right, yeah, and the personality. But I like the balance, you know. When we tour, I'd like to do like big shows and small shows. I like the balance. It helps us grow as a band, you know. And I think a lot of bands would probably feel the same way.
Who's gonna give me a comb? You get a comb? Everyone will be miserable. Give me a comb. We haven't played it. Give me a comb. Get a comb? Yeah, he's right.
A place like this, it looks like a total non-hardcore venue. Yeah. There's always a part of me that says these people are gonna hate us. These people are gonna throw shit at us. This is like a total pop crowd, and we're gonna go out there and play hardcore, and they're gonna be so annoyed. And it never happens. And I think that's a total state of the times, because when I was into hardcore, a hardcore band would not be playing this show. You know what I mean? Like
10 years ago.
Hell.
10 years ago, this show wouldn't be in this venue.
No way.
I know they hate barricades. I know they hate the bounces and the security and the rules and how to dance. They support us. That makes me happy. And kids will give us a chance and check us out. You know, and even sound the mailingless and maybe buy the CD. They gets me excited.
Yeah, it seems like more people are getting into hardcore or whatever. It's becoming a little more.
Yeah.
How dare I say trendy? I don't know. Seems like more people are witness to it. I mean, I've seen 2 different documentary television shows on national networks doing segments on hardcore, straight edge, or something like that.
I mean, it's hard to tell now because like all the old school New York hardcore bands are like, you know, everybody knows about them and they're huge and everything. And I wasn't really in the scene when all that was going on.
Yeah, neither was I.
But it seems like a lot of the bands, I mean, especially like some of the Victory bands, that kind of like seems to be the going hardcore label now, are getting like big, you know. I mean, getting flown to Japan and, you know, and shit like that. I mean, it amazes me, and I don't know what things were like a few years ago, but I mean, hardcore bands now are bigger than I ever remember them being. So.
It's a really weird thing because like when like bands like Rancid, Green Day first started getting big, I was just like, oh, this kind of sucks, you know, because it's like what made it always really cool was like a really small little tiny element, and like you had to like search to find it. You had to like go out of your way to like find all the cool stuff and like find shows and stuff. But I mean, now in retrospect, after this has been going on for like a year or 2 or 3 or however long it's been going on, where like punk rock is accepted as like kind of like as being a part of everything else as far as like mainstream music. I don't know, I think it's good because like just especially Miami, because like I've met like more cool, inspired and smart and bright kids doing things like realizing like, cool, I can change my life doing this, you know, I can like go out and do things that like are important, that like make me happy in my life. I've met like more kids like that, which I think they got into it just based on the fact that like it was accessible, and then they saw it and then they dug deeper and found like the real stuff, like places like this. And so I don't know, it's really hard to say. It's like it's really weird to see like something that you always consider like to be a real cult thing like suddenly like really big.
People get very possessive, you know, like it took them, they had to get, you know, they had to pick up a fanzine and they had to send off for this magazine to hear about this band. But now any kid sitting at home listening to his radio can hear about this band, and they get pissed off because then all of a sudden those kids are coming to the shows and they're like, yo, this used to be our club, and this used to be, you know, these kids are all whatever, dickheads, and it's like, well, then how can, you know, did you really give a fuck about who knows what, you know, it's like, and it's like, it's again, yeah, it kind of sucks when you go to see a band you used to really like, but now most of the kids there look like kids who watch MTV, but if the band's still the same, you know, it's just part of the band growing, you know, it can't stay small to, you know, the inconvenience of everybody else.
There's basically 2 aspects to look at with punk becoming as big as it is right now. There's the negative side, which is that a bunch of people that have no idea what punk is about are into it now, and you see a bunch of people at shows that go there just because they think being in a pit's cool, and they try and beat up on other people and, you know, let out their aggressions like that. But there's also a very positive side of punk being big, which is, you know, punk is great music, and it's very accessible to a lot of different people. And I think that, you know, with Green Day and Offspring getting as large as they have, it's opened up a lot of people's minds that would never be exposed to that kind of music. And I don't adhere to the mentality of people that think that punk should just be this little secret thing that only a select group of really, you know, hardcore people can be exposed to. It's great music, and, you know, there's a lot of positive sides to it, and it's got great energy.
I think the mainstream came to the music.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
They
look at the bands that
like-
made it big, Green Day, Offspring, Rancid, they never changed their sound.
Everyone just came to them.
Fans came to them.
There's just so many people being influenced and being exposed to alternative types of music. I mean, when we started out on this thing, you know, you got to remember, we've been around, huh? It's like, when we started out, it was really a subculture, you know? It was a dangerous underground thing that most people were intimidated by. So for us to be able to go out now, and it's like a whole different world, you know? It's all, let's face it, it's turned inside out now. It's the mainstream, you know? All those bands that were mainstream, they're all history now. No one cares about that shit anymore, and everything that we've worked toward is now mainstream, which, you know, a lot of people might think that that's diluting the scene, and in a way, I guess it does. I mean, obviously, there's going to be ways that certain bands will sort of water things down and become more generic versions of whatever the message is, you know, the broad spectrum of. But really, it just means, you know, a bigger army, you know. There's just more outlets to get your point across now.
I don't want to seem like the old guy, but back in the day, when you used to go to a show, there's always like an element of danger. There's always like the fights ready to happen, and now they're not complaining. They're just saying that there doesn't seem to be as many fights as there used to be. Like, I don't know, I miss it in a way and I don't.
It used to be common etiquette not to bump into people around you, but with the punk scene, we didn't really care about etiquette, so it didn't matter if you smashed into the guy next to you. And that's really how it started. You know, with people just jumping around and not worrying about who they jumped into.
We used to be like the go to see Suicidal Tendencies and just, or Gangrene, just beat the shit out of everybody or get the shit beaten out by everybody. But what? Jerry, he was a total stunt. He had the big Gorilla Biscuit swing, like back in the big straight edge lawnmower days. And we got videos of him practicing moshing in his room. No.
When I was a kid, I don't dance anymore because I'm an old man, but I used to go in the pit and go all out, and it wasn't towards anybody. It wasn't, it was just a release. I left that show, I saw an amazing band, and I was physically fucking drained. I was like drenched with sweat, sitting on a sidewalk like, oh man, that show was amazing. And I was in the best mood, and you did whatever. You went to a friend's house or went to a party.
You just see these kids all angry, singing lyrics and beating the hell out of one another. But you don't know that those kids are all friends, and after the show, they're all going out to eat, talking about, oh, remember when you hit me there, and oh, yeah, look at this black and blue you gave me. But it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing you have to worry about. It's positive. It's a friendship level that they're on.
Next time, instead of watching Top 4 News, come down to a show and see what it's about. And then, you know, I mean, what, Jack Cafferty's going to tell me what's going on at a hardcore show? I mean, what the fuck is that? You know, he doesn't know what's going on. He heard some...